I'm Verusca. Welcome to my kitchen, and now I'm going to show you how to ganache your cake. There's a lot of techniques up there. Everybody uses different techniques. This is the way I do. Before we go to the ganaching of the cake, I want to just give you a couple of tips about the cake after we take it from the oven. So you get your cake out from the oven. This one is already warm because it has been sitting there for a little bit. But when you get your cake from the oven, you put a piece of paper of baking paper there and a piece of cardboard paper just on the inside there. So it could be a little bit smaller or the same size of the tin. I like to put a little bit of a tail on top and a little bit of weight on top of the board. So what's happening is it's going to give it to you a much more flatty surface, and so it's much easier to work with. As you can see here, I have one, and it's very flat, very dense, and it's perfect for sculpting cakes and novelty cakes. So it's a little trick that I use so I can get the top of my cake very flat to start work with. And then of course I leave it on top of the board and I wrap around really well so it's nice and sealed, and I freeze. I like to freeze this cake, so I bake all my cakes on a Monday and then I freeze my cakes, and then by Wednesday and Thursday I take from the freezer and put in the refrigerator. There is a condensation that is gonna happen is the moisture that is happening when you take from the freezer to the refrigerator that adds more moisture for my cake, and I love moisture cakes. I take from the refrigerator and I cut my cake in as many layers that you want, and we have lots new tools on the market to cut the cake in as many layers you want. I really like these ones from IKEA, the little ones. They're really good to 10-inch cake, up to 10-inch cake. You just go and cut it around. The new ones have this little serrade. I still prefer the string one. It's so much easier just to twist and cut it, but they're really good. Oh, of course, you trust serrade enough. That's a really good one. Easy, you just mark, cut around, and bake. And then, of course, you can cut 2 layers, 3 layers, and you put as much filling you want. In this case, we put a lot of chocolate. And then I put chocolate ganache on the top of my cake. I put a lot of chocolate ganache on top of my cake. I put a baking paper on the top, and I put one of these acrylic circles. They almost like a board. Before these acrylic boards, we used to use a board, and we used to put the board there anyway. And I like to flip the cake upside down, so then the weight of the cake make that top part really nice and sharp and clean. There is this new acrylic thing on the market now, and I found very interesting because you put your ganache there, and then with your acrylic scraper you go and you scrape nice and flat. Put in a refrigerator, wait to set a little bit, and then of course with the little knife you go around, cut around, and take it out. As you can see, there is a hole in here. When I first bought that, I thought that you're supposed to leave it there and you then just lift up on the side of the cakes, but no, it doesn't work like that. It's just to make a lid, and then you have this lid that you can put on top of your cake, and you have a perfect lid. How clever is that, So if you on a case like, for instance, you have a bottle that is really bad like that, you could just get your lid. Of course, you have to put a ganache there and then put your lid there. This is amazing. I love that idea. I thought it was really good idea. A little bit of ganache there to add the lid, so you put the ganache on top. A piece of chocolate. A little bit of ganache there. And then you would add your lid there. And that would become your lid, the lid for your cake. I just thought it was really clever. It's new things that is on the market. It's called circle ganache frame. It's interesting, different, but we're not doing that. I'm gonna start with the way I was doing before. So now we're gonna put this on the refrigerator to set a little bit, so I can come back and do a little bit more of a ganache to finish off and make everything perfect. So I just removed it from the refrigerator and now it's set hard, so I can just feel the places that it was missing, so I can go around, see the places that it was missing the ganache. Put the ganache there on the spaces that it was missing. Oops. Really feel that, because when we get our scraper, we can take the excess really easy. So on this case, more is better than less. And then you just get your acrylic scraper. If you don't have one of these acrylic scrapers, you can also use the just angle roller and just go around. As long as it's straight and it's touching the board on the bottom and the board on the top. And you just go around. All my supplier lists and where you can find, always gonna be on the bottom of my videos. And so this is the time that you know, you can really just spend some time in here, because like I said to my students, the perfect to the cake is the less stress you're gonna have when you put the fondant. These days we don't open the fondant too thick. So if the cake is nice and smooth, you will have no problems when you put in the fondant on it. Alright, so you can, I could stay here forever actually, doing that, because I like when it has absolute no marks, nice and perfect. But you got the idea. You get your scraper, touch the board on the bottom, the board on the top, keep your scraper or your ruler straight, and you should get a nice and smooth surface like that. And then with the knife, you just go at the top to remove your acrylic. And that's why I love so much the acrylic boards, because you can just put on a sink and wash, and that's it. And then we just have to remove our paper and then fix it up. If the lid is a little bit too high, you just fix it up very gentle, even with a warm palette knife, and you should get a nice sharp edge. And that's this ganaching for you. And now next year I'm going to show you how to cover with fondant. And we are going to cover this black fondant, because I wanted to show you a trick how to clean your black fondant with your airbrush. Keep following!